Okay, in a 2 ShopDog approved video, we did a little bit more work in Sweet Pea here. You can see the harness is getting stitched together for the heater. We started running to the back, including stuff for the fuel pump relay, the courtesy lights. The new harness doesn't quite work the same as the original harness, but I still wanted that functionality. So we added a new set of connectors back there so that I can also add an eventual trunk switch if he decides he wants one. We've started bringing all of the wire back that will eventually become the rear body harness for the lights, the fuel pump, and the fuel sender. Those wires are all loomed back here now. And of course, following the nice channel and loomed with the nice fabric tape. So it's all this meticulous stuff that takes forever. Routing it the way you want it, getting the accessory harness starting to be built up. So this will eventually plug in here, and that is all our add-on circuits. Still got a lot of work to do for console gauges and neutral safety switch. Oh, and of course the backup lights, those will come off of that as well. They could come off of the GSS that we're using for the transmission indicators, but I think we'll just go ahead and just leave them on the physical one. So we won't use the relay with the GSS, which this is just so that the Dakota gauges will show the gauge or the gear position, even though it'll be on the floor. It really looks nice when you do that. Plus he's doing air temperature and compass. That's the GSS right there. We've got the main harness now loomed in. These two connectors plug in and pull almost all the signals that we need right from the new wiring harness. This is, of course, the cable that goes up to the gauges. Then we're going to use the factory clock and its light, so those are loomed in as well. And of course, this will be battery power coming out of the harness. So now I've just got to hook up a few sensors, which are already run. We just got to plug them in. We've got to run a wire over to here, and then of course the harness wire for the compass, which I think is going to get mounted inside the console. I think I will wind up mounting it inside somewhere pointing forward, which it needs to do to work. And I'll have this all apart when I change the ammeter to a voltmeter, because ammeters are kind of dangerous and not that useful anymore. So we will add a voltmeter, which we obviously already have, we just haven't done it yet. The gauge cluster and of course the vent are now on here, except I need to find a little axle nut retainer here, or this will all come apart just like it was when I first started. Plus, instead of a spade somebody had added, I went and added the correct ground point for the wiper switch. Conveniently, I have a few. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Haven't figured out how I want to pass through some of the communications from the fast computer yet, but one is the trigger for the fuel pump. I've got to decide where I want to pass that. I may pass that through the fuse block in the factory water temperature position. So I will make that decision soon. A lot of this up here is going to come off for cleanup. We do have all the sensors below for the oil coming up here. You can see oil's coming up here, water's right here, and of course the Speedo has a VSS on it, and that is already underneath. And of course ShopDog is tired, so he's got to help. He's been keeping the passenger side kind of down. He doesn't want that blanket to come up and me stick to the Dynamat. And we have been going through and resealing some of the small holes that were left behind when someone did the vintage air conversion. So I know it's hard to see in there, but there were a bunch of holes from the original heater box that were left open that are now sealed up pretty nicely with the Dynamat, which experience has shown holds up really well. So yeah, Sweet Pea's coming along. But there, finally a ShopDog approved video, and look at him just snoozing.